What's happening, guys? This is Shane. This is a quick foam rolling series for beginners. I know a lot of what I am showing and teaching is great if you have some experience and you're a little familiar with stretching or tissue work, or you're already a little flexible. A lot of this stuff can be fairly advanced. So I want to get back to the basics. This is a beginner foam rolling flow. So the first thing you can do is, if you're sitting on the foam roller, I like to safely come down and put it on my mid-back. From here, we're going to try to get some thoracic extension. Everyone's a little rounded, a little turtle back, so we're going to try to move in the opposite direction. Now note, we're not trying to arch from our low backs. That is staying relatively neutral. It's not hyper arching. What we're trying to get is our upper back to start getting some arch back. We're going to move in both directions. So the easiest place to start is hands behind the head and just gently pull back and forth. I'm not cranking on my neck, just gently coming to the end range, rounding in the other direction, coming to the end range, breathing, rounding in the other direction. When you go both directions, you're going to open up the joint better, the joint segments of the spine better than if you just went in one direction. If I just stayed here, that's not bad, but I'll get an extra benefit if I also bring the joint in the other direction. You're gapping it into flexion and then into extension, just gently, not too extreme. So you can move a little higher on the spine. You can have your elbows narrower or wider, whatever feels better. But I'm just teeter-tottering back and forth. The next thing that you can do is lift your hips up and just gently roll out that upper back, gently holding your breath so your abs don't relax too much, gently contracting your abs. Anything in between the shoulder blades is fair game. I like to pull my elbows together to get my shoulder blades out of the way. So that's a great thing for your upper back. If you happen to have the shoulder mobility to reach long and make this position, and you can actually squeeze your head with your own biceps, this added leverage kind of ups the intensity and the effectiveness if you're ready for it. Breathing and sinking, releasing with that breath, or teeter-tottering, or even rolling. If you don't have the mobility to squeeze your own head, then your head's going to be in free space and your neck's going to tense up. So we don't want that. We want to be holding the head or holding the head with the biceps. So that's the upper back. The next great thing that the foam roller is good for is your basic quad rolling. So both quads on here, from the hip crease all the way down to the knees. I like to kind of do this body sawing motion where my body's like a saw and I'm just sawing back and forth. I'm on both my quads. If I want to up the intensity, I put myself on the side in a side plank position with elbow support, hand support, and foot support. And I'm just rolling up and down on that kind of back leg, quad, and almost IT band. If I go all the way onto the side, now we're on the IT band, and that gets really intense, especially if you're a beginner. If you stacked your legs in any one of these positions, that's really intense for most people. So work your way up to that. But looking the other way, kind of like this. But the quads and the IT bands and the upper back are probably my favorite things to use a foam roller for beginners. The last possibility is the glutes in this position, or even winding up the glute like that. I remember when I first did this maybe 7 years ago, it was actually really, really intense, which is kind of comical for me now because I barely feel a thing. But that just illustrates the point that you got to start where you are. 7 years ago, that's exactly what I needed, and it was super intense. Now I'm using things that are much more pinpoint. But those are kind of some of the basic uses for a foam roller. The upper back to improve your posture. The quads, from all the sitting that we do, the quads get very tight. The IT bands if you're a runner. So give that a shot if you're a beginner. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's other foam rolling videos you want to see, other videos you want to see, and talk to you next time.